Hey Doberman fans, we are going to be helping someone out today, and while we're doing it, we're going to be diving into the shocking danger that comes along with deciding to own two Dobermans at the same time. And this danger absolutely has a name. It's called Littermate syndrome, and it can happen to any of you that raise two Dobermans of a similar age in the same house at the exact same time. Now, people can and definitely do get hurt with this, guys, and it can absolutely spiral out of control if you raise these two dogs in your home at the same time and you don't spot the signs and you don't jump on it early. Now, we're off right now to help one of my clients, Diane, with her two Dobermans who are beginning to suffer from the early stages of Littermate syndrome. And this is no joke in this breed, trust me guys. Dobermans are absolutely predispositioned for this, and it can lead to some really scary behaviors. So just try to picture this for a second. Two strong, powerful, 100-pound plus Dobermans, way more bonded with each other than you, the owner. It can lead to things like serious aggression between them. It can even lead to them ganging up on other dogs, not listening to you, complete inability to train them, separation anxiety, and a whole lot of other really serious problems. In fact, a lot of rehoming of Dobermans happens because of this issue, and Dobermans bond hard and they bond fast, which is great if you're the owner, but like so many things with this breed, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Now, I don't want to scare you guys because it's absolutely possible to raise two Dobermans in the same house at the same time. Plenty of people do it, but you got to watch for these signs, especially early on, and especially if these two Dobermans are of a similar age. Now, my client Diane, we've been called to her house to help her with confidence issues and just general adjustment issues with this rescue Doberman she has named Mercy. Beautiful dog, but in the house already is another Doberman named Rosie who is about the same age. And that's why we're starting to see these red flags between the two of them, frankly. And we got to jump on this early. So let's head on over to her house and see if we can help her out. Now, they call it Littermate syndrome because this often happens when people adopt or take in two dogs of the same age from the same litter. But essentially, if you have two dogs living in the same home and they're roughly the same age, there's a potential for them to bond more with each other than you, their owner, or other people in the household. And this can lead to a big variety of behavioral issues. A big one to watch out for, and I know her owner already told me this is potentially becoming a little bit of an issue, is increased aggression towards other dogs, especially when they're with their litter mate, or in this case, when Mercy is with Rosie. They tend to, with their bonded more to each other and rely on each other for confidence, they could bully other dogs, especially at a dog park. Also, separation anxiety, that's a big one too, where if you bring them away from the other dog in the home, you start having crying, pacing, chewing on things, destructive behaviors. That's another one that is very common with Littermate syndrome. Also, potential for fights between the two dogs. And this is especially true in a two female or two male household. With male Dobermans, two males living together, it definitely seems to be like they have fights a little bit more frequent, but they're not as serious. With two female Dobermans of a similar age living together, they seem to fight much less often, but when they do, it's potentially more serious. It also could affect their ability to be trained effectively without their crutch dog, their sister or brother Doberman with them. Also, one of the two dogs could potentially become more shy and withdrawn and could lead to some fear biting. And lastly, you could get some antisocial and withdrawn behavior that really makes it hard to socialize your dog. And all these things are potential with Littermate syndrome. So Diane, I do want you to watch out for Littermate syndrome. And there's a couple things I want you to do just to make sure that that's not going to be an issue going forward.
Okay.
One of them is do things separately. If you could take her, I know you go to the dog park a lot and you have a good time there, but with Littermate syndrome, there's definitely the potential for the two of them to bully other dogs together. And are you seeing some of that now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. And that's because they're relying on each other, especially Mercy's relying on Rosie for some of that confidence. So try to start taking them on individual trips. If you can, dedicate individual training time to Mercy separately. Just because, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, we'll do it. Twice a day being better. But then she can accomplish these. First of all, we can build her commands. You can work on building her commands because she's kind of a blank slate right now. But also, she can start to accomplish some things on her own individually away from Rosie.
Okay.
And if you can, separate feeding spots. How do you feed them now? Are they together?
Mercy's over here,
okay,
and Rosie's over there.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you do have separate feeding spots. That's good. Make sure too that they're a good distance. They're not where they can't really switch from one bowl over to the other, because that's where also some bad fights can happen as well. Do they sleep separately right now, or are
they sleep with me?
Okay, do they at least have their own sides, or do they stay away from each other, or are they right on top of each other?
They're on top of me. Sometimes they do wrestling, like at 4 in the morning.
Okay, consider getting them a separate bed and having them go to it. Just keep an eye out for it. Also, there can be some possessiveness over spots in the bed too. That happens as well. And if you need to intervene, then do it. And then individual socialization time is another big recommendation I'm gonna have for you, which is where if you can socialize her around trusted dogs, because if she has one bad experience at the dog park, that could really set her back. But if you can socialize her around trusted dogs, dogs that you know will be calm and relaxed, especially older dogs, and individually away from Rosie, it's all the better to build her own individual confidence.
Okay.
And then short solo walks. Now I'm asking you kind of to double your walks every day. I know that could be hard, but if even they're short, but they're solo, that's gonna help a lot. And it's also gonna help with you working on some of the leash pulling and other issues that I know you told me you're having with her. Do you think you'd be able to get her out individually on a leash separately as a good starting point from her sister?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She'll sit here and howl, but the neighbors are used to it by now.
Okay. Now, Ollie is absolutely the sponsor of today's video, and we're really glad that they are, because they are really becoming the standard for Dobermans. And absolutely, a fresh delivered diet like that, if you can do it, if it's in the budget, with a high-end, beautiful dog like this, it's absolutely worth it. Now, if you haven't heard of them, Ollie is a fresh, human-grade food service for your dog, and they make customized meal plans with veterinary nutritionists that are perfectly balanced to support these dogs in the best way possible. And their food is made with real ingredients, real meats, real vegetables, just like you find in your own kitchen. And it's really simple. You put it in your freezer. When it's time, you pull out a pack, you thaw it, and you feed it to your dog, and it's all pre-portioned out. It's just a really easy way to do something that used to be very labor intensive, and that's to feed your dog a fresh diet that is as healthy as possible. Feedback from our audience has just been pretty fantastic. So if you want to give it a shot and see what it really feels like to give your Doberman top-notch nutrition every time you set that bowl down in front of them, go to dobermanplanet.com/freshfood. That's a link that'll take you straight to Ollie's website, and there you can just answer a few questions. It'll customize a plan just for your dog in your situation. And on checkout, don't forget to use our coupon code. It's Doberman Planet, all caps, all one word. Get you 60% off your very first box. And then when you're done, make sure you email us. Let us know. Give us your feedback. I'd love to hear how your dog responds to Ollie. Just got back from helping Diane, and honestly, I've talked with her a lot about behavior problems that can result from Littermate syndrome. But it's really important also that I tell you guys what the earliest indicators are that owners say they seem to notice first with the Doberman breed specifically. If you're seeing excessive crying when they're apart from the other dog in the home, that is definitely a sign. Also, distractions during training, and specifically if the dog is looking for the other dog in the house, that's an early red flag of Littermate syndrome. Also, a big one is refusal to eat without the other dog present, or really any kind of stomach upset without the other dog. That is another very common early warning sign, is showing that anxiety is growing because who they're bonded to the most isn't present. And you may have a real issue here starting if you see some of those things. See if they get that, huge confidence boost simply because the other dog is around them. A little bit is normal, but if it's just to an extreme level, it could become an issue, and they could become withdrawn when the other dog is away. Okay, so you're seeing some of these red flags of Littermate syndrome in your Doberman. What should you do? It really boils down to two main concepts. Number one, build confidence in your Dobermans individually, away from the other Doberman. And number two, build an individual bond with each dog. Now, I made a few very specific recommendations to Diane with her situation to accomplish these things. The first one I recommended was individual 10-minute training sessions between her and each dog separately. This strengthens your bond, builds confidence away from the other dog, and really helps prevent Littermate syndrome. I also recommended to keep a really close eye on their feeding situation. Their bowls are a little close for my comfort. A lot of fights happen over feeding time. If it's working for them, it could be okay, but it's on her to really watch out for that. So it's good to feed them separately too. I also recommended separate beds at night with each dog. They can all be in the same room, but having separate beds helps build confidence away from each other. I also recommended socialization time away from the house and away from each other to build that individual confidence. This will also help them to stop ganging up on other dogs as well due to overconfidence. And using a trusted older dog, especially for this, is always very helpful so that they have nothing but good experiences while socializing. And I also recommended individual walks with each dog. Can be hard to do with some people's busy schedules, but even shorter walks that are individual are better than long walks together. Now here's a little secret for you guys. Using routine to your advantage with this breed is huge. So if you can just even have a simple different routine or a different game or a different time you go for a walk with each individual dog, that can help tremendously in preventing littermate syndrome, especially in Dobermans. Now every home and every dynamic is definitely different, and the Doberman is actually a pretty sensitive breed. So if you suspect that your Doberman might be getting to some serious point with some of this littermate syndrome stuff, definitely consider reaching out to an experienced dog trainer or canine behaviorist, especially if you can find one that is very, very familiar with the Doberman breed specifically. These are unique dogs. It really helps. Separating their routines, training, feeding, and sleeping is going to go a long way in building individual confidence, individual bonds with their owner, and avoid this horrible syndrome. Now, this is just some of what I've recommended to Diane, but like with all my videos here on YouTube, I always publish all of my internal training documents that I give to the owner because, frankly, it's really useful for you guys too to train along. The training plan that I gave to Diane will be down in the description down below. You can download it for yourself, take a look at it, and maybe find some useful stuff in there to help you with your dog. And remember, here at Doberman Planet is the only place anywhere on YouTube, I believe, for any dog trainers that are giving away for free download their internal documents, the training documents that they give to their clients while on scene shooting and filming and training their dogs. So definitely take advantage of that. The link's in the description. Download the homework I gave to Diane. Take a look at it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you again next week, and keep taking great care of those fantastic Dobies.